Well, hello and a good evening to you wherever you are listening from, or good morning. If you are listening in the AM, welcome to Tottenham, USA. I'm DJ Paul. One more time for the station giving you today's lineup. No other videos today. I'm not going to get into that. It's Friday and I've already taken the day off, but think it is okay to close out the night with a glass of wine and some information on Tottenham versus Ipswich tomorrow. So, without further ado, let me take a sip. Cheers to one. Cheers to all. And give you just a little bit of information. But before I do, just remember this as part of Tottenham's rich history. Tottenham Hotspur, born Hotspur Football Club, and later Tottenham was added on with later, as in 1884. They were born in 1882, and in 1884 Tottenham was added to Hotspur Football Club, making it Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. There's a little bit of information surrounding that today is not the day to get into it. But what I really wanted to tell you is that Tottenham is the only club in England, the only club, listen to this, who have won a professional title, silverware, as an amateur club. In 1901, Spurs won its first FA Cup. FA. I think the wine is getting to me, y'all. As Tottenham did won its first FA Cup in 1901, playing as an amateur club. They were later elevated or accepted into the first division. But that's for another day. That's another story. But I just want to remind you that banter is not fact. We have a great club. I love it. I've been supporting this club for 40 odd years, and I would never, ever think about supporting another club. So here we go with the lineup for tomorrow. We are going to go with the lineup for tomorrow. And so let me just let this run so you could take a visual on it and then we could discuss it. That's my projected lineup for tomorrow. And so I will just let it sit there for a minute. Yes, I got everybody in right there. And so there are reasons behind my madness with this. And as I go through, I will try to explain the reason why I chose this lineup. And so we understand Vicario coming back. He's the number one. It looks good coming back, although he was not tested as much, made a few good saves against United, but we expect that from him based on his standard. If you look to your left, you see me bringing in Udogie. I think Udogie should come back. I'm not looking for him to go the full game, so I'll probably look for about 60 to 70 minutes out of him. And so I'm going for Udogie as my left fullback. Ben Davis earned his keep. I would want to give Archie Gray a rest. I think he had put a lot in there, so giving him the day off tomorrow, at least as a starter, would be good for him. And then Danzo is learning. Let him keep going. Let him get more accustomed to the pace, because we're going to need him later on in the year, especially for him to anchor us versus in the AZ whatever they are in the Europa League. And so definitely we want him to play as much and get used to the pace as much as he can. And then I'm going to give my man Paro a rest that he is well and truly deserved. And that's the reason why, if you look, I started Udogie, because I want to move Spence over to the right hand side where I think he can play anywhere and he will just be phenomenal. So I'm going to give Porro a rest and I'm going to bring Spence in. And then you look at the midfield, I'm going with a midfield 3 in a 4-3-3 formation. And so I'm going to go with Madison, Bentancur, and Bergval. Let me just take a stab at Bentancur. I prefer, and most people will prefer, to see Bentancur over Bissouma. I think Bissouma has lost his way. I think Sarr doesn't anchor the number 6 as much as I would have liked to. So, bringing him on, young, fresh legs, I think he's in the right spot to come off the bench. And therefore, I'm going to go with the senior player in Bentancur. I think Bentancur is rounding in a few injuries here and there, but I think he's finding his footing, and therefore I'm going to go with Bentancur. Bergval on the right, I like him as a number 8. I wanted to set this up, if you get me, as a 4-1 as a 4-2-1-3, in my formation, in having Bergval in there. So we'll just, switch out and put Madison at the top and Bergval and Bentancur at the bottom if we go to a 4-2-1-3. I like that formation for Bergval because Bergval is now able to leapfrog Bentancur and go alongside Madison. And now you don't know what he is, if he's a number 8 or is a number 10. You don't know whether Madison is a number 8 or is a number 10. And so both can share the attacking duties as far as that is concerned, the creativity in the front, in the final third or in the build-up. As you might know, I am not a big fan of Kulusevski. Let me just go right and go to Kulusevski. I'm not a big fan of Kulusevski playing through the middle. I think he's a great player in his own ways. I think he is preferred, in my estimation, to stay on the right. And this is the reason. I will tell you that Kulusevski does not go far left as far as I am concerned, and where I would want him to be for him as a creative player. Kulusevski is middle, back, right, middle, back, right. Is predominantly, if you look at his heat map, that's where you're going to see Kulusevski operating. And therefore, what you have happening is that you don't see him going further left. I think I miss Madison because I included him with Bergval. So I don't need to give a big description on Madison. Madison is going to do what Madison does. Just give him the ball, get out his way, get yourself in position. That's as far as Madison is concerned. And now what you have now, because Kulusevski is not in the middle, you can have two players who can actually operate on the left and on the right, depending on what's happening with the ball. And therefore, that's the main reason why I want to see Bergval and Madison in the middle. And then I think Tell is a wonderful player. I think he has the skill and the tenacity. He's going to bother defenses, and so he just needs to slow down. Just like myself here needs to slow down and tell you that Tell is my striker, and the reason is he's the only one we've got. The experiment again with Son playing through the middle is not what I would want to envision. And then we'll slide over to Odebert. I'm gonna give Odebert his start coming back because I want to give Sonny a rest in which he deserves. I think he has a lot of minutes on his legs, and therefore I want to bring Odebert in, and he too can go for maybe 70 minutes. Kulusevski the same, because now we have Johnson back, so we have enough off the bench where we can select a team that is going to run and play at the pace that Ange Postecoglou wants them to play at, and therefore that's my lineup that I would go for. And if you want to see it again, I would have Odebert on the left, Tell in the middle, Kulusevski to the right, Madison, Bentancur, and Bergval picking up the slack in the midfield. And then we have Udogie coming back in the lineup, Ben Davies and Danson anchoring the centre-back position, and Spence finally getting a chance instead of Porro on the right, Vicaria in goal. And I think that is and should be the best lineup that we can find to go up against Ipswich. There is nothing I expect or expect anything short of 3 points tomorrow. I absolutely expect us to win tomorrow, and so I will definitely will be rooting for a victory come tomorrow. So that's my lineup. Tell me what you think. I'm not going to go any further. I try to make this one as short as possible. And so I will see you tomorrow. Ipswich versus Spurs. Come on, you Spurs. And as always, be good, walk good. Until next time, I am out of here.